Hello, everyone. Welcome to my video. In this video, we are going to learn about ISO 14031:2013, which is Environmental Management, Environmental Performance Evaluation Guidelines. What is ISO 14031:2013? This international standard specifies a process called Environmental Performance Evaluation, EPE, that enables organizations to measure, evaluate, and communicate their environmental performance using key performance indicators, KPIs, based on reliable and verifiable information. It can be used in combination with other EPE-related environmental management standards, such as standards ISO 14001, ISO 14004, ISO 14005, ISO 14006, environmental declarations, ISO 14025, environmental labeling, ISO 14024, and life cycle assessments, ISO 14040, ISO 14044. It can also be used on its own. What is EPE? Environmental Performance Evaluation, EPE, is the systematic assessment of an organization's environmental practices and impacts to gauge its effectiveness in managing resources and minimizing negative effects on the environment. EPE involves measuring and monitoring key indicators such as energy consumption, waste generation, and emissions, followed by analyzing this data to identify areas for improvement. The process emphasizes transparency through regular reporting to stakeholders and aims to drive continuous improvement in environmental performance by informing strategic decisions and initiatives. EPE is suitable for both small and large organizations and can be used to support an environmental management system, EMS, or used independently. Organizations with an EMS can assess their environmental performance against their environmental policy, objectives, targets, and other environmental performance objectives. It is important to note that EPE is an ongoing process of collecting and evaluating data and information to provide an assessment of current performance as well as trends in performance over time. Furthermore, it is mentioned in ISO 14031:2013 that the standard does not specify environmental performance levels. Organizations can develop their own EPE approach based on this guidance. Introduction to ISO 14031 and Environmental Performance Assessment, EPE, is an audit tool that provides managers with information about the performance of an organization's environmental systems and whether environmental policy objectives are being met. EPE is a useful tool to assess whether environmental aspects, objectives, targets, and other environmental performance criteria are met. With its help, environmental performance can be assessed. EPE provides managers with an understanding of how the EMS is performing, how the EMS objectives are being achieved, and whether they are being met. It is important to note that assessing environmental performance is an ongoing process that ensures that any changes in an organization's activities, products, and services that may affect environmental performance are considered in its environmental management system. Challenge and opportunity of ISO 14031:2013 Challenges 1. Data collection and quality assurance. Gathering accurate and reliable data for environmental performance indicators, EPEs, can be challenging. Organizations may face difficulties in obtaining consistent and comprehensive data, and ensuring its quality and reliability may require significant efforts too. Complexity and resource intensiveness. Implementing ISO 14031 can be complex and resource intensive, especially for smaller organizations with limited resources. Developing and maintaining a robust EPE system may require investments in technology, personnel, and training. 3. Subjectivity in indicator selection. The standard emphasizes the importance of selecting appropriate indicators, but the subjective nature of this process can pose challenges. Different stakeholders may have varying perspectives on which indicators are most relevant, making consensus challenging. Opportunities. 1. Improved environmental management. ISO 14031 provides a framework for organizations to enhance their environmental management practices. By systematically evaluating performance, organizations can identify areas for improvement and implement measures to achieve sustainability goals too. Enhanced stakeholder communication. Implementing ISO 14031 allows organizations to communicate their environmental performance transparently to stakeholders. This transparency can build trust and confidence among customers, investors, regulators, and the public. 3. Strategic decision making. EPE can inform strategic decision making by providing organizations with valuable insights into their environmental impact and performance. This information helps in setting realistic goals, allocating resources effectively, and aligning environmental initiatives with broader organizational objectives. Benefits of ISO 14031. For organizations applying the standard, better understand the organization's impact on the environment, provide a basis for management, operational, and environmental performance benchmarks, identify opportunities to improve energy and resource efficiency, determine whether environmental goals and targets have been met, demonstrate compliance with regulations, determine the appropriate allocation of resources, raise employee awareness, improve community and customer relationships. The target audience for ISO 14031 includes organizations, businesses, industries, government agencies, non-profit organizations, and other entities seeking to assess, manage, and improve their environmental performance. Environmental professionals, environmental managers, consultants, auditors, and professionals responsible for implementing, maintaining, and evaluating environmental management systems, practices, and initiatives. Regulators and authorities, regulatory agencies, governmental bodies, and authorities responsible for overseeing, enforcing, and monitoring compliance with environmental laws, regulations, permits, and standards. Stakeholders, investors, customers, suppliers, communities, advocacy groups, and other stakeholders interested in understanding, evaluating, and influencing an organization's environmental performance, practices, and impacts. EPE Boundary specific organizational activities, processes, products, or services. This could include manufacturing operations, service delivery, or the organization as a whole. Geographical scope. Consider whether it applies to an organization's specific location, multiple facilities, or entire global operations. Organizational boundaries. This includes which parts of the specified organization, for instance, subsidiaries, joint ventures, will be included or excluded from the assessment. Life cycle phases. Consider the entire life cycle of a product or service, from raw material extraction to end-of-life disposal, to determine the scope. This approach aligns with life cycle thinking and allows for a more comprehensive assessment. External factors. Recognize external influences that may affect an organization's environmental performance, such as supply chain activities. This includes considering environmental factors and impacts related to inputs and outputs that extend beyond the boundaries of the organization. Stakeholder benefits. Consider the interests and expectations of relevant stakeholders when defining the scope. Stakeholder engagement helps identify key environmental issues. Setting EPC environmental performance criteria, EPC, are specific and measurable standards or benchmarks established by organizations to assess their environmental performance. Serving as the foundation for evaluation, EPC provide clear expectations aligned with an organization's environmental objectives, legal requirements, and significant environmental aspects. These criteria are designed to be measurable, relevant, and periodically reviewed, facilitating consistent assessment through associated environmental performance indicators, EPIs. By defining and applying EPC, organizations can systematically evaluate their environmental management practices, identify improvement areas, and demonstrate commitment to sustainability and compliance. EPE methodology environmental performance should be evaluated in accordance with its environmental policies, goals, and targets, as well as applicable legal and other requirements, and EPE metrics that reflect the organization's environmental performance goals should be selected. A key objective of EPE is to provide transparency on all aspects and associated environmental impacts, internal and external, and to demonstrate how organizations can mitigate these impacts to improve performance over time. ISO 14031 follows the plan, do, check, act cycle applied in ISO 14001 and proposes guidelines for establishing EPE across activities, products, and services. Plan your EPE by selecting relevant metrics. Do, collect and analyze data, evaluate information, and report results. Check and act, review and improve environmental performance, taking into account policy goals and objectives. It is important to note that restarting the entire process after completing all the processes is a great help to refine the evaluation plan and understand the research objectives. This flowchart provides an overview of each PDCA process. Key Performance Indicators, KPIs. ISO 14031 uses relevant Key Performance Indicators, KPIs, including Environmental Performance Indicators, EPIs, and Environmental Conditions Indicators, ECIs, both of which involve the collection, analysis, evaluation, reporting, and review of relevant data. EPE is a continuous process of collecting and evaluating data and information to provide a current performance assessment and track performance trends over time. Identifying and selecting key performance indicators, KPIs, the significant environmental aspects and impacts associated with organizational activities helps in selecting relevant KPIs. These could include emissions, waste generation, energy consumption, and resource use, etc. KPIs should be measurable, meaning that data can be collected and analyzed to assess performance. Organizations need to ensure that reliable data sources are available to track selected KPIs effectively. Environmental KPIs must accurately assess the status of an organization's sustainable environmental management system and promote its further improvement. For organizations with financial benefits, it introduces the terms economic benefits and environmental protection costs. Anyone interested in an organization's environmental performance, EPE, can easily and freely access the information needed to evaluate environmental KPIs. ISO 14031 provides guidance on the selection of indicators, measurement and monitoring processes, and the subsequent use of validated data. Typical EPEs in the first two categories, MPI and OPI, may include the following. The chart provides some examples for OPI, MPI, and EC indicators. MPI and OPI. MPI is related to management systems and addresses, including our issues, such as employee training, planning and practice, such as what goals are being pursued and achieved. OPI is related to operational performance and resource use, including inputs, such as energy, materials, utilities, and contractor services. Outputs, such as the design, installation, operation, and maintenance of buildings, resources, and materials used. Process equipment and other facilities. Outputs, such as process emissions, trade wastewater, air emissions, solid and liquid waste, noise, vibration, light, dust, garbage, odors, and radiation. EC mainly deals with the state of the natural environment that can be affected by an organization's activities, products, and services. This will include local air and water quality, and whether the land condition or soil is contaminated. Government departments and regulators responsible for the protection and improvement of the environment have overall responsibility for the state of the environment, and therefore require regulatory controls and statutory monitoring systems. EC refers to those processes and operations that may interact with or have an impact on the quality of the natural environment. It is important to note that the EC is also a function of local and national governments, as well as international bodies related to the protection of the environment. EC may include the following: water conditions, such as activities that release water that causes local streams to become cloudy. Consider whether local water resources are suitable for operational use, and are there enough water resources to meet future business needs. Will the activity lead to a deterioration of soil conditions? And likewise, is there an opportunity to enhance local biodiversity, for example, through tree planting? By monitoring and measuring EPEs in all three of the above categories, organizations can identify activities under their control or influence, and prioritize improvements accordingly. EPE Case Study Local Agenda 21, LA 21. Is a Sustainable Development Action Plan that originated from the United Nations Earth Summit in Rio de Janeiro in 1992. It encourages local governments and communities to develop and implement sustainable development strategies and action plans at the local level. During the period from 2002 to 2005, the study Padova 21 was carried out against the Italian Padova LA 21 and ISO 14031 benchmarks, focusing on the application of the document to sustainability and the evaluation of performance indicators, as well as long-term environmental performance discussions. Common difficulties and overcome in EPE evaluate the objectivity of the indicators, and whether they are based on detailed information. Reference research materials related to indicators are checked in the do phase or improvements are made. Based on the results of the audit phase, assess whether the indicator is nationally and internationally recognized as valid. Reference research materials related to indicators are checked in the do phase or improvements are made. Based on the results of the audit phase, evaluate the relevance, ease of understanding, and reliability of indicators. Evaluate the relevance, ease of understanding, and reliability of indicators. The design indicators refer to official national or local statistics and research data from administrative departments. Conduct a sampling survey of the study site to ensure that the evaluation indicators meet the requirements of the plan phase. Performance indicators are aligned with the planning phase. Check whether the indicators are the same as those in the evaluation plan phase in the do phase, or if they are improved based on the results of the audit phase. EPE Support Tool, an ISO 14001 based environmental management system. EPEs and KPIs that can be used to evaluate environmental performance. Environmental Management Information System (EMIS), LCA life cycle assessment communication platforms, such as the Internet or Internal Information Exchange Software, etc. ISO 14031 and ISO 14001. ISO 14001 is a management tool published in 1996 that enables organizations of any size or type to continuously improve their environmental performance (EPE). While it proves that the organization has some type of environmental management system (EMS), it does not state how well the system works and does not provide a detailed performance evaluation procedure. In 1999, ISO 14031 was published to help industrial organizations evaluate their EPEs, but the standard did not give a benchmark for acceptable levels of performance. ISO 14001 provides a framework for establishing and maintaining an environmental management system, while ISO 14031 provides guidance for evaluating and improving environmental performance within that system. An organization can adopt the developed ISO 14031 model as a useful tool to measure its environmental performance, even if it does not implement ISO 14001. Integration with corporate sustainability goals. Organizations can strategically align ISO 14031 and ISO 14001 with their overarching sustainability strategies, ensuring that environmental management is integral to business operations and governance. Furthermore, ISO 14031 underscores continuous improvement in environmental performance, aligning with corporate sustainability principles. By leveraging ISO 14001's requirements and ISO 14031 evaluation guidelines, organizations identify improvement areas, implement effective strategies, and adapt to evolving environmental, social, economic, and regulatory landscapes. Contribution to broader environmental objectives. ISO 14031 and ISO 14001 facilitate environmental stewardship by managing and enhancing environmental performance, conserving resources, and mitigating impacts. These standards support regulatory compliance, ensuring adherence to environmental protection, sustainability, and corporate responsibility obligations. Moreover, aligning with ISO 14031 and ISO 14001 enables organizations to contribute to Sustainable Development Goals (SDGs), such as clean energy, responsible consumption, climate action, and partnerships. Stakeholder demands full transparency, the adoption of internationally recognized standards, guidelines, frameworks, and best practices, such as ISO 14031, ISO 14001, Global Reporting Initiative, GRI, Sustainability Accounting Standards Board, SASB, and Task Force on Climate-Related Financial Disclosures, TCFD, supports consistent, comparable, and meaningful EPE and sustainability reporting with stakeholders. The role of EPE in circular economy and resource efficiency. EPE plays a pivotal role in advancing the circular economy and resource efficiency agenda by assessing, measuring, analyzing, and optimizing resource use, waste management, material flows, product life cycles, and value chains. Organizations are increasingly focusing on reducing resource consumption, minimizing waste generation, promoting recycling, reusing, remanufacturing, and recovering materials, and fostering eco-design, sustainable procurement, production, distribution, consumption, and disposal practices. EPE helps identify opportunities to enhance resource efficiency, circularity, sustainability, innovation, competitiveness, and long-term value creation, and promoting Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs. Industry-specific applications of ISO 14031. ISO 14031, focusing on environmental performance evaluation, EPE offers industry-specific applications tailored to various sectors, such as manufacturing, energy, construction, agriculture, transportation, healthcare, and tourism. In manufacturing, for instance, ISO 14031 helps assess and optimize production processes, material use, waste generation, and emissions to enhance efficiency and sustainability. Cost-benefit analysis of implementing EPE. Implementing environmental performance evaluation, EPE, entails costs and benefits that organizations must evaluate through a comprehensive cost-benefit analysis. Initial costs may include investments in technology, infrastructure, training, data collection, analysis, evaluation, reporting, and stakeholder engagement. However, the long-term benefits outweigh the costs, as EPE facilitates resource efficiency, waste reduction, pollution prevention, regulatory compliance, risk management, reputation enhancement, stakeholder trust, market competitiveness, innovation, resilience, value creation, and sustainable development. By quantifying tangible and intangible benefits, organizations can justify investments in EPE, prioritize actions, allocate resources effectively, and achieve a positive return on investment, ROI, over time. Certification options for EPE. Certification options for environmental performance evaluation, EPE, vary based on organizational needs, objectives, contexts, and stakeholder requirements. While ISO 14031 provides guidelines for conducting EPE, organizations can pursue third-party certifications, such as ISO 14001 Environmental Management System (EMS) certification, to demonstrate compliance, credibility, and commitment to environmental performance improvement. Additionally, organizations can seek industry-specific certifications, recognition, awards, and endorsements from regulatory agencies, industry associations, non-governmental organizations, NGOs, and sustainability initiatives to validate e-practices, achievements, leadership, and excellence. This is a reference list used in this presentation video. That's all for this video, which is about environmental management, environmental performance evaluation guidelines. Thank you for watching.